What is something that your generation did that no younger generation will ever get to experience? Get tangled up in the phone cord while trying to talk on the phone in the kitchen. Record songs off the radio onto cassettes. Call a parent collect just to hurry up and say what you needed when prompted to leave your name. You have a collect call from "Hey mom, pick me up from the mall." Call from "We had a baby, it's a boy." Wait outside the closed school for your mom to pick you up with no way to contact her. You start thinking if she doesn't come, you will have to assimilate yourself with the other street orphans and try to survive. Experience the transition from dial-up to high-speed internet. Holy crap. Switching to channel 3 to be able to play Nintendo. The total joy when the Sears toy catalog came out before Christmas, which was replaced by the Toys R Us catalog for my kids. Now they are both gone. Calling movie phone late at night so your friends could call you without your home phone ringing. Having to call your crush's home phone and their parents answering. Embarrassing bonus when you don't know they're a junior, so when you ask for them by name, you get a reply speaking. Not being able to use the phone while on the internet, purposely pee your siblings off by picking up the phone while they're on the internet. Calling your parents from a payphone to come pick you up when your movie was over. I used to call my mom from a payphone and record my name as something like "Pick me up at Mike's." She would deny it and come get me. Remembering your friends' phone numbers in your head. I can still remember a handful of phone numbers from friends when I was a kid, and having to wait to see if the pictures you took came out actually turned out okay. Yeah, if I ever go to jail, I really hope the parents of my high school friends still have their landlines. Downloading stuff for an hour then getting cut off at 99% because some idiot decided to pick up the phone. It still catches me off guard sometimes how fast my broadband is. I see a 15 GB update for a game and think that blows my plans for playing tonight, and then it's done in 10-15 minutes. Listening to your sister talking to her crush on the phone with the other wired phone, and periodically pressing the buttons on the phone to mess with them. Get away with tons of shenanigans in college because there weren't cameras everywhere. Also, getting to say words like shenanigans. Saturday morning cartoons. Most everything is online now, and even if the choice wasn't available, there are entire channels dedicated to cartoons all day, every day. There's no kid today waking up at 6 AM to watch Saturday morning cartoons when the internet sits there as an ever-expanding library of entertainment. And then when Soul Train came on, you knew cartoons were over and it was time to go play. 90s to early 2000s internet browsing. Basically, before YouTube, there was so much variety of websites you went to besides the main 3 or 4 social media ones now. The navigation and website layout design was terrible, and pop-ups were inexcusable. But the internet was so new and mysterious, they haven't decided on what layouts were the best yet. There was no bootstrap, only sidebar buttons with vague names. GeoCities anime fan pages where your cursor changed and sometimes there'd be a MIDI playing in the background. It was considered good etiquette to have a play button visible on the site, as well as defaulted to paused when the site loaded. It was like visiting a friend's room, where you kinda had to abide by their rules for the time you were there. Oh, and of course addicting, accessible, often crudely violent flash games that were all about the game or stick fight animation. As opposed to getting kids wanting to spend money. There's just something about amateur games that I love that nothing I've played in the App Store can ever really make me feel. And Homsterana. I know it's all there and still viewable now, but when things were updating, part of the experience was that you never knew what, or more accurately, when, the brothers chaps were going to give you. Roller skating as a mainstream activity. Large, dimly lit rink with smoke machines, lights, and a disco ball. Refreshments sold, including food, soft drinks, and even beer for the adults. An arcade section. Tons of people there. Loud 80s synth pop, and everything was decorated in earth tones. Burn a CD. I used to spend hours strategically picking 16-20 songs to listen in the car that month on my way to school. and then you'd get a CD burning error just as it was finishing and now you've wasted another CD. I don't remember how much they cost back then, but I remember it was painfully expensive to keep throwing them away when burning your own CDs was still a new thing. Being not available. Before mobile phones, if you wanted to talk to someone you had to find a landline and hope they were actually in or go round their house. Now, it's all instant messaging in its many forms, with the sender expecting an instant reply. On the same theme, I miss not having clearly defined working hours. Back then, if you wanted to talk to me about work stuff, you'd have to do it on Monday to Friday, 9 AM to 6 PM. Now, I get work emails and phone calls every day of the week, 24 hours a day. People seem to have lost that sense of boundary and seem to think it's okay to pester me at 8 PM on a Sunday night. You can get a lot of that back by simply not answering. My wife and my mom are always top priority. Everyone else can wait. If I'm not on call for work, my work phone may not even be charged. I'm sure kids add a layer of complexity to that, but I'm not there yet. Watch MTV when it showed nothing but music videos, artist interviews and concert footage. Waiting through boy bands videos to watch a Korn video on TRL. Rewinding movies in the VCR, and then having a whole separate appliance to rewind them slightly faster. I worked at a video store and we had two super cool race car rewinders and I always enjoyed when there was a tape in both of them and it was like a race. The smell of freshly mimeographed worksheets in elementary school. All the stupid crap we all do in high school, without social media to commemorate it forever. Putting up an away message on AIM so the people you didn't want to talk to wouldn't message you, while still continuing to talk to others. Or really, just the concept of being away and unable to be reached at all. AIM Plus would let you set yourself as idle and or offline. Your screen name would fade and everything. Deception 100. Calling a potential girlfriend and having her father answer the phone. Playground rumors, myths in video games. I feel like they still exist, but to a much smaller degree. Only thing from recent memory I can think of is Herobrine from Minecraft. But back in the day, man, every game you played had like 6 rumors surrounding it. Secret codes, weapons, levels, you name it. Crap like Mew hiding under the truck in the old Pokemon games, the fabled code to make Lara Croft naked, Bigfoot hiding in the woods in GTA, San Andreas, the secret cow level from Diablo, the list goes on. Rent movies from a store. I get decision paralysis when trying to work out what to stream. It's weird, but it seemed easier to make a movie night work when there was an element of going to pick some stuff out and committing. Renting video games at Blockbuster. To an 8-year-old, that row of Nintendo and Sega games was like Dorothy entering Oz for the first time. Play video games without being able to Google what to do next. I remember calling the Nintendo helpline and paying something like $2.99 a minute for tips on how to beat the boss in Ninja Gaiden. It was either that or save up my allowance so that I could buy a $30 strategy guide from Toys R Us. Taking our bikes out in the morning, being gone all day and then being home again when the streetlights came on. We would just spend all day exploring the trails across town and hanging out by the creek. It's definitely some of my fondest memories of being a kid. Some of the tapes I made are 50 years in my past, but I still remember the playlist order. Today I'll hear a song on the radio that I recorded back then and expect the next song as it was on my playlist. Crazy. I've always thought that the Proclaimers' Sunshine on Leith and Hootie in the Blowfish's Cracked Rear View should be played together, and I recently realized that it's because my dad dubbed them to opposite sides of the same cassette, and I grew up riding around in his truck listening to those two albums back to back. 4 hours blank VHS tapes. You tape some film that was on TV, and then sometime later, you find out some other film is going to be showing and you want to record that. How do you figure out how much time is left on the tape? Math? Nope. You look out the window and the little notches will tell you how much time is left on the tape. Those were the days. Being able to go into the cockpit of a commercial airline and have the pilot show you the controls. I remember doing this at roughly age 7 and getting my American Airlines wings pin. Air travel was so much better back then. Sadly, my kids won't ever get to do that. You have died of dysentery, in green text. Schedule free time to watch favorite shows on TV. Save files and information on a floppy disk. The ones they gave us at school were always bright yellow or red. Remember having a computer room? They're called home offices now. Leave the house and not be trackable. Parents now have location sharing apps and GPS in cars. My best high school memories were made when my parents thought I was somewhere else. If it's any reassurance, I often have no freaking idea where my kids are. Take a roll of film in to get developed. Youth today will never know the satisfaction of hearing the subtle snap sound of taking a flash photo with a disposable camera, or the excitement and anticipation of waiting for your roll of film to get developed to see if the pics you took were any good or not. Change a typewriter ribbon. Gifting mixtapes as a sincere symbol of friendship. The period when the internet was not a thing and then a fairly big thing. The rise of mobile phones, etc. Growing up with the before and after is quite interesting. Play flash games. Golden years of addicting games and Newgrounds. Walk to the neighbor's house to check if they could come out and play. You'd feel like a champ if your friend answered the door and not an irritated parent or sibling. Having to write papers without the help of the internet. Man, going to the library and spending hours there for a 7-page paper. Shudder. Camp out overnight for concert tickets. Playing with mercury from a broken thermometer. I wonder if that's why I get short-term memory loss sometimes. Playing with mercury from a broken thermometer. I wonder if that's why I get short-term memory loss sometimes. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.